and your retired Bishop Simon engaged me quite a lot, especially in the area of Bible exposition in some of the youth conferences that we had at that time. That's where your bishop was also a very able student. I'm happy that he learned very fast and caught up with us. And I'm happy also to see some of my former students here. They're now very senior, and sometimes I have to salute to them because of what the Lord has done. And I'm also happy to see my former colleague from the province, with whom we served with great dedication, Canon Dr. Orodo. I was the clerical secretary of the provincial synod, and he was the lay secretary. So many people making a lot of noise. How comes that Western Kenya was dominating the provincial office, but we didn't elect ourselves? It's the people who believed in us. That one aside, the bishop has invited me to this diocese. He called me when he was in the UK. I didn't know exactly what he wanted me to do. But what I knew for certain is that he called me and instructed me to come here today. Who am I had to be? When the duty calls, you have to obey. And here I am, sir. I've obeyed your call. Receive greetings from Mama. She couldn't come. Unfortunately, when we were in the UK with the bishop, and the day we were leaving, she hurt her foot, but we thought it was something mild. Little did we know that it was becoming serious. So it was later diagnosed after X-ray that she fractured her toe. And that had really put her down all this time. She's not able to move about. Even where she's teaching at the university, she has been exempted from physical teaching. So she's just using this virtual system. But she's strong and in good state of health, spiritually and mentally. Apart from that, now she's recovering. There is one person here who has done good for what I'd prepared. Dr. Janet, you really touched on what I prepared to share with you. So I doubt whether I need to go any further than to say thank you for inviting me. Or she has said it. I wanted to share with you the story of the feeding of the thousands. I don't want to say the feeding of the 5,000, because there are several stories. As Bishop has said, I'm a Bible expositor, and I have a PhD in biblical exposition. One of the areas I deal with is how to understand the text that is before us, and how to derive the meaning out of that text, and how to apply that text in our context, so that we can appreciate our link with the Bible. We have to remove the Bible from the original context to our context through interpretation or application. That's why I have this story of feeding of the thousands, not 5,000, because there are several versions of the same story. You go to John, you will get 4,000. You go to Matthew, you will get another story of 5,000. You go to Matthew, you will get 5,000. So, I want to bring all the stories and make them relevant to our context, especially with regard to this project that you are undertaking. I'm happy to have heard much from you, how you began and where you have reached, and the desire to go ahead with it. Then 4 to 5 years, hoping that it should be ready, isn't it? I've heard what you are saying. Kidogo, 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 isn't it? Yeah, just little, just bring little. Bishop now knows me so well. I'm a very radical person. And I think sometimes I always go against what people, the conventional way of looking at things. So allow me to differ with you, only for now, but after that, we'll be friends. Are we together? Yes, allow me to differ with you. Our God is not just God of small things. He is also a God of big things. Don't glorify small things. Are you getting what I'm saying? Don't glorify small things. The same God who created the valleys, the same God who created the mountain. Why are you only looking at the valley down there? And you're forgetting about the mountain now. When things became relevant, Moses went to the mountain for big things. He didn't go deep into the valley. I want us to get rid of this notion of small things. Talk big. Because our God is a great God. You cannot belittle him in small things. This is the reason why we have a problem in this region of ours. Because of giving. Our Christians in this region have a problem with giving. I have to repeat it. The entire region, Nyanza, Western, call it. Because we always believe that just small thing. You go to a church, you go with a coin in this age and time. You go with a coin to the church because God accepts small things. The God I know is a God of greatness. You give according to your ability, not according to the change that you got. We must get rid of this notion that we give only small things. For how long will you finish this project? If people start giving only small things, give greatly. Give up to a point
point that you feel the pain of giving,
Amen.
that's when we'll reach there. And I want to share with you some strategies of how you can get real money that can help you to complete this project very fast. There are only two strategies. Practical. Forget about the prayers. Prayers is good. We all pray. We want to pray for this project. You want to pray for it. Now, time for action. Use the following. First of all, use persuasion. Sell the idea well. Ensure that people buy it and they understand it and they own it. Let them know that it is theirs, it's not the bishop's. Bishop is only paid to dream for you. But the interpretation of the dream is yours. Are you getting what I'm talking about? He is paid as a bishop to dream. So if he has no dream, he should better go home. And his work is only limited to dreaming. Bishop, you had already dreamed. And you already told them the dream. So the rest is theirs. You have succeeded in your part. The part remaining is yours. Let them own it. Let the people, let this sink to them that this is theirs. It's no longer the bishop's, it is theirs. It is for their sin. And they are the ones to do it. It cannot be done by anybody from outside. It is there. Sink this into them. The last strategy which I want to tell you is very funny. Intimidation. You can intimidate them. If they cannot fall into the persuasion trap, then intimidate them. Kama huwezi kutoa, bas moto. You see, hii mambo ya kubembeleza watu kila saa, hii kome. I want to tell you for sure. I'm telling you practical things. I don't plead with my Christians to be. Oh, tafadhali nakuomba jinsi ukiona namna hii, Yesu ijimana namna gani? Namna gani? Atoe pesa ijenge kanisa la ya Mungu. That money is not ours. I want to tell you for free. Whatever we have, the money we have is not ours. That one belongs to God. Silver and gold have we? None. It's not ours. We are only stewards of the things the Lord has given us. We are only stewards. But it's not yours. Now the owner needs it. Can you remember the story of Jesus and the donkey? When he sent his disciples to go ahead, and they will see a colt tied somewhere. When the owner has a holy, tell the owner that the owner needs it. Then that colt of yours is not yours, because now the owner needs it. Be courageous and tell the Christians. Whatever they have, it doesn't matter how hard working they are. They should not claim that this is their sweat, this is their money. This is not theirs. If God did not give them the sweat, what would they have done? There are so many people who are working hard, but they cannot make money. You are aware of that? They are really toiling. They cannot make it. They are trying to venture into business. They cannot. Why? And you succeed. How many people have tried even to vie for parliamentary seat?
My brother, how many?
There are so many people. They try. Some have also tried even to vie for presidency. They cannot get it. They have tried year in, year out. They don't get it. Others come first time from nowhere, switch. Are you getting what I'm talking about? You have all the reason to thank God. So whatever you have is not yours. Give it back to the owner. But may I guarantee you, if you don't give it back, it will still be taken away from you. So this deep kubembeleza Wakristo kila saa. You want to go to pray for them. You twist everything, even the message that God had given you to make them happy. Don't make them happy. Because they may end up being gods where they are not supposed to be. That's another strategy I was telling you. Tell them the truth. Whatever they have is not theirs. Let them bring it. Whatever they have for the use of the Lord's service. Now I want us to look at what these stories are all about. Feeding of the thousands. If you read the stories from these different scriptures, there are certain things you will learn. One, in Mark chapter 8, it says like this. During those days, another large crowd gathered. And since they had nothing to eat, Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I have compassion for these people. They have already been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. If I send them away hungry, they will collapse on the way, because some of them have come a long distance. His disciples answered, but where in this remote place can anyone get enough bread to feed them? Then, how many loaves do you have? Jesus asked. 7. They replied. And he told the crowd to sit down on the ground. When he had taken the 7 loaves and given thanks, he broke them and gave them to his disciples to distribute to the people. And they did so. They had a few small fish as well. He gave thanks for them also and told the disciples to distribute them. The people ate and was satisfied. Afterwards, the disciples picked up 7 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. About 4,000 were present. Are you getting that story? Jesus was moved by compassion when he saw people in desperate situations. He felt for them. They were hungry. It was visible. 3 days they were following Jesus, but they were hungry. They had nothing to eat. But the hunger for the word of Christ was greater than the hunger for the soul. Blessed are those whose hunger for the word overrides the hunger for the stomach. They became the examples of the beneficiaries of God's grace.
in a very spectacular way. I want you to understand that story the way it is flowing. And if you read Matthew 14, gives a different picture altogether. As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so that they can go to the villages and buy themselves something to eat." Are you seeing that dimension again? Disciples now telling Jesus, it is getting late. This will send them what? Away. There is no provision for a solution. To them, the solution is send them away. I want to share with you this. This Jesus' action was driven by compassion. Compassion to respond to the needs of others. Whereas the disciples were driven by fear of limitation. Don't allow the fear of limitation to take charge of your decision. That it is so limited, we cannot make it. In this region, you know, we are coming from a very low economic, economically we are very low. We are not like people from Central Province. Those people, they have money. Here, you know, we people in this area, you know how it is. Send them away. The spirit of desperation, where we cannot be able to see the bigger picture of God's blessings. We cannot be able to identify the resources that we have. We are only able to recognize the limitations and become so desperate. And the only solution we can give is to send people away. Let them go. Very sad moment. Two ways of dealing with an issue, with a problem. Jesus, do something. He was driven by compassion. To the disciples, limitations. We cannot be able to make it. We don't have it. Now, this is the problem of electing a young bishop who is so ambitious. He should have known that we cannot make this one, these people in Nairobi. Not people just here in Kakamega. Kakamega is not even a city. Why is he disturbing us like this? And in fact, there is also Corona. Corona has also come here. You should be able to understand. Are you seeing how people are driven by fear of limitation? We must not allow the fear of limitations to overwhelm us, to blind us from seeing the resources that God has placed in front of us. They are numerous. We have what it takes. We have everything. I was sharing with them when we were having early lunch. Wacha wewe ndio unasema ni breakfast. I was sharing with them this, that one of the problems we have is the failure to recognize our potential and use our potential accordingly. Every potential we have is a resource that we can be able to harness for the building of this project. There are these resources that we have.
First, we have the human resource. We have the people. They are there. We must identify them. We must know where they are. Who is who? I know sometimes there have been these things which have been politicized, that we must be careful about money that we get from politicians. Now, he is a politician, practicing politician, and he's the chair of this project. If he brings his friends, will you be asking his friends where they got the money from? Tutamsifu tu Mungu. Tukutekeleza tuta. Mungu abariki mtumishi wake. Ameleta mheshimiwa au umefanya maajabu. I want to tell you something very boldly. Don't be afraid of asking people to support this project. Whatever money they have is not there. That's what I said. This thing is now becoming a nuisance. Because he knows that now I want to. Oh. And it's working? Yes. Oh, it's working. Okay. So I'll hold it. Good student. Don't be afraid. Whoever can be able to contribute, go for that person. Don't be afraid. Because whatever he has is not his. That money belongs to God. As for me, I never shy away from asking people to contribute. Whether you are a politician, whether you are who, bring that money here. That money is not yours. You have known top politicians or business people in this country who have passed on. You know them. Have they gone with their wealth? Instead, what they have left behind is controversy after controversy. People fighting over them until the beneficiaries are the lawyers. Lawyers, we have lawyers here. Lawyers become the beneficiaries. We know them. And they die when the time comes. Even the choppers they have cannot help them. And they die so badly. At least sometimes God can spare us people who do not have. Because there's nothing much we worry about. But when they think of the thousands of acres they own, and then someone is telling them that it's only going to be a 6x6 something here. When they think of the foreign accounts with billions, they wonder who is going to, how is that now cannot help. That's why I'm saying, get it. Get that money before this person dies. Because that money is not his. That money belongs to God. Get it. Don't feel ashamed. I'm talking to you as a theologian. Don't feel ashamed. Human resource. The people you have. They have what it takes. In this is a very big diocese. Even geographically, you are very big. And you are a formidable force. That is your resource. The size of this diocese in itself is a resource. I don't want you to see a resource only in terms of money. Even the advantage you have is your size. You are so big. How many countries is this diocese? You have how many countries? 4 countries. 5 countries. You get also into Kisumu. Now look at that size is a resource. You get even up to Syria. I know Syria, even Syria there. So, my goodness. Oh, you are so blessed. You are so blessed. Look at that size. And even Nairobi. Look at that size and use it as a resource. That is a resource. How do you utilize that? In Bondo, we don't have any single country. We have only a portion, only 2 sub-countries. And in fact, in Bondo, I can finish the entire diocese within 1 hour. The whole diocese within 1 hour is all over. I'll finish. When we had Bishop, we closed it, and then I say, Your Grace, the diocese is finished. And you are talking of countries that count that as a blessing. It's a resource. I was telling the bishop that Christians are here to identify most of the resources they have, including the titles we hold. It's a resource. Being a bishop is a resource for my diocese. Are you getting me? Being a bishop is because I can go and knock somewhere and people listen to me. Because I am a bishop. If I come to your office, sir, and you are told Bishop of Bondo is here, you will come out to usher me in, isn't it? I'm someone you cannot ignore, isn't it? That is a resource. Are you getting me? Use your titles, Reverend, desperate for that position of a reverend, and they cannot get it. Where people get a seat, yourself, you can get a seat. Where even people who matter, they have to stand for because in our language we call it Jaduong. Jaduong has come. Jaduong has come. Huh? Omulundu. Sasa kila mtu, they'll come. Use that as a resource, but not to enrich yourself, but to enrich the kingdom of God where we stand. That's where there's a difference. If I use the title of a bishop only to enrich myself, that is sinning. Now that is sinning. But if I use the title I have in order to gather more materials for the construction of the church, then use your title as a resource. Even a canon is not just given anyhow. You think it's just given anyhow? No. You look around. Who can be able to use the title that is given as a canon to enrich the church? Use that. How many people will die even before dreaming of being a canon? They will die. Even some bishops will die before being. As for me, I'm lucky. I was made a canon before I became a bishop. So once I retire, I take back my canon position. You see, how many people dream of becoming canons and they cannot get it? Use that as a resource. Even your age is a resource. Bwana asifiwe. Even your age is a resource. If you are an elderly person, use that one to intimidate people to contribute for a good purpose. Bwana asifiwe. Use it. Watoto wangu sasa amtaki kufanyia Mungu kazi na huyo Mungu wangu sasa watoto, they will listen to you. Use it as a resource. You bless those who give. You admonish those who do not want to give.
Nimesema sema bado sijasema hiyo.
I'm telling you, these things are possible. Another thing which many people ignore is the name. If you have a name that is known, use it.
I was telling the bishop how we tried in our village to get power and we failed. Every time we apply, they are telling us that we are sorry. Get about 200 people who can pay this, and then we'll get you transformed. But in the village, these people cannot afford. They will say, okay, if you cannot get that number, then you can get at least 2 million. Now, where could we get 2 million in the 2000? 2 million is not a pocket change. They refuse to give us power. Then one day, God who sees in secret gave me a revelation. It was 2013, after the first this Uhuru Ruto government. I'm telling you this thing, but don't tell others. I invited, that time I was working with Great Lakes University of Kisumu, but in charge of Bishop Okulu College. I wrote a letter to Deputy President William Ruto. I was calling him for a ramble. I was putting up hostel there. I just wrote to him directly. You know, sometimes we get gather carried. Because protocol, if you follow these protocol issues, sometimes, as for me, I don't know how protocol is followed. Because it takes me too long to reach where I want to go. God had given me a gift of just intimidating the process that I'm. Then luckily now, he responded to my letter, accepting to come. I was happy that he had accepted, but I had another war to fight. Because that time in my region, the name Ruto, Uhuru, were anathema. They were cynic. People started hitting at me. Huh? We didn't know Kodia could do this. What? I just kept quiet. But something dawned on me. Politicians are politicians. This is only a letter that is coming. How far am I sure that actually he will come? Then I say, I have to make good use of this letter. I won't let it go just like this. Then I went to regional Kenya Power in Kisumu. I made a photocopy of that letter. I wanted to see the manager. I was ushered in. Gave the manager the copy. She read and then asked, oh, the deputy president is visiting your college? Yes. So, how is it now with us? I said, that thing is directly related with you. You are party to it in this letter here. How? I'm going to host the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya in my home. And there's no power. Now Shaurian, because we have to install CCTV cameras and whatever, because of security reasons, and there is no
power. Shauri yenu. Don't blame me that I did not inform. You know how hot that thing was. An emergency meeting had to be called to discuss. What do we do? Also, me, I left the letter and I went away with my details. I had come also with the map of the region where my home is and the marketplace. The following week, I was on my way to Ghana. At the airport, I received phone call. Someone was calling. Is that Professor Kodia? Yes. Yeah, we are from Kenya Power and we are at your home here. They gave us power 3-phase, without single cent. I got power with 30 units, which I did not apply for. I came back to make now a formal application when the power was ready in my home and in the village. Are you getting what my story? Yes. Use whatever name you get for a good cause. Are you getting my point? For a good cause. And take every available opportunity. Don't let opportunity slip away from your hand. Ati bado unaenda kuomba. Ulishaomba. So it's time for strategy. You see. Don't be so fanatical. Prayer is good, but don't be fanatical. Do the implementation. The late Archbishop Vitali once told us, if you're a young man, you want to marry, you don't just, every morning, you are kneeling on your bed. Father, forget about that. Get out. Look for them outside there. They are there outside there. Yeah. And what does it do? Outside there. Hapo ndio utapata. The choice, you just be spoiled for choice. The last resource that you have to make is the network. Some people have very good friends, but they don't know how to make good use of those good friends. Instead of presenting the agenda of the diocese, they present the agenda of their stomachs. But Christians are very interesting people. They can give you today, then tomorrow, then after that, they will never even pick your phone calls. And Gladi Wenzango, I think I'm telling you the truth, isn't it? They never pick your phone call. Because you keep on, we are now, sasa, wakili, umejua li parish yenu, yes, we need. Don't be someone who laments throughout. You are not a resource. If you are always lamenting, then you are not a resource. You are not worthy of being where you are. If you are always crying throughout. So, Jesus looked at the disciples and he saw people who are so desperate. Their option in addressing the situation was to send these people away. Send them away, Jesus. Focus on our plan. At least as for us ourselves, we have something we can eat. You know how difficult it is when people are there and you have your food and you don't know what to do. You are hungry just like them. But they don't have and you have. How do you behave? It's not easy. So the option was send them away
so that we can eat the little we have together.
Jesus laid a strategy because he was moved by compassion. He felt for them. He decided that something has to be done. What can be done was to lay the strategy. If you don't have a strategy, there is a good strategy, you cannot accomplish your dream. Dreams are realized or are implemented through a process of strategic plan. What plans do you have? Jesus told them, you just sit down. What do you have? You identify the resources you have. And then you put people strategically. They were put in different groups. In different groups. After they had been put in different groups, and then that's when the material resources come. Material resource comes only when the ground is properly laid. Are we together? Yes. When the ground is properly laid, things are clear. Policy is in place. Everything has been identified. Now what remains is how do we address this? Project of this magnitude requires great thinking, strategic interventions. May I tell you what came late? The last thing that was addressed was the prayer. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Prayer came last. When thinking had taken place, when everything had been conceptualized, then people say, Jesus now taking their resources. What was available is what was blessed. What does it mean? You can't bless what is not there. So people must give first. They bring here. That's when our prayer will be there, will be fed. What does it mean? Bring them here so that we pray for it. You want us to pray for it and it's locked there? No. Bring it here first. That's when Jesus took the bread. And then he gave thanks. Then it was blessed. And everybody had what was enough. One as it will. And we are told there were leftovers. According to others' writings, 12 baskets full. And according to others, 7. But what is important is that there were leftovers. And even these leftovers, they were not thrown away. They were used as scraps. They were recycled. Culture of wastage sometimes we have. Even during the construction like this, you told us that the first contractor, when he began, there was a problem, isn't it? I'm telling you, this is where Jesus sometimes disappears in people's life, where money is. I've seen it myself. When I now I want to give you the typical example of how we need ours, then I just stop. When I became a bishop, or before I became a bishop, the retired bishop asked me that there is a synod in front of us. Please, why don't you write for me something that I can present to the synod? Then
I told the bishop, what is it that you want me to write? So that I know. You know the diocese. Let's write something. Then something dawned on me. Bishop is will be retiring soon. But there is nothing in place. There's nothing to show that he had been working. You know, are you getting what I'm talking about? Nothing to show. You know, it is in our mind that even if you are preaching the gospel and people are getting saved, they will never say that you had worked. Not until they see something like this. Ndugu yangu, that is the tragedy you are facing. You are not just called to preach the gospel. You are called also to build structures. That's when people will say that you are working. I'm telling you, that's the tragedy you are facing. So despite the fact that the bishop was busy creating more parishes, consecrating churches, confirming so many people, to them this was not working. There was something still missing. They wanted to see something. So I wrote a whole concept. And in that concept, I'm saying, for the church to be relevant, it must have some income generating activities for self-sustainability. Long are the days of Bishop Okolo and Monia, when these two people, they could just pick a phone call and call England and money comes. Are you getting me? Long are the days when they could do that. Or just write a small thing, I need ABCD, and money comes. Today, that's not the case. So what is expected of us today sometimes may not be achieved within our lifetime if we don't lay some strategic interventions on how to meet the needs of our time without relying on partners outside the country. So we laid the strategy, we laid the program, how the things we needed to do. We thought of having income generate a commercial building that would be able to generate income that can help to sustain the diocese. I want to tell you, by the time the bishop retired, the building we started, a superstructure level, was at the third floor, only skeleton. Was at the third floor, but only skeleton. There was nothing. When I came in, they had organized for a Rambi. And the first Rambi, I got them Jojo. The name Jojo, I hope all of you know Jojo. I got them Jojo. Jojo was a friend of mine. We were in the All Saints Cathedral together. Jojo came, and they raised about 2-something million. That was not done, that money was kept. Then they invited Jojo again. Jojo came, and they raised another almost similar. This thing was not moving. Then they invited the deputy president, then this our Ruto. And he came with the 5 million. That was the highest. 5 million. And this 5 million, Dr. Ruto contributed 5 million, 3 million from himself, 2 million from President. And the diocese, 1 million and something. Are you getting what I'm talking about? 1 million and something. So by the end of the entire exercise, that big Arambe, we realized 6-point-something million. Which means this one was for the guests,
It was a rambe for the guest. Are you getting that? Do you think that with that speed, with that strategy, this house could have been built? There was no way it would go anywhere. So when I came as the bishop, 2017, June 4th, when I was consecrated, I decided, I found when the person who had been contracted to construct the building was never paid. 20-something million he was not paid for that small superstructure. Was not paid and took me to court immediately. I became a bishop. June, in 2 weeks, he sent me a letter. He wanted his money. I say, hii ni mambo ya shetani. And me and shetani, we never agree. There's no way shetani anaweza kuniitisha hapa. I told them, my friend, you will know who I am if you dare write to me such a letter again. I just came in, Bishop, just the other day. Never again. Never, and I emphasize, never dare again. He did not know how to handle this new Bishop of Bond. I went mute about that project matter for 1 year. Mute, deliberately. But that 1 year, I was laying the strategy. How do I mobilize for resources for this? I started engaging people at personal level. Meeting key people in others the way you are meeting these people here. Then we gave ourselves responsibility. You'll be champion. All the champions, this is what they are supposed to contribute. We're contributing 10,000. All the champions, 10,000. I would call Daktari and say, Daktari, I know him, and I'm on a serious mission. You are going to give us 300,000, and that is what I'm saying. You are going to give us 300,000, and I'm not joking. Or else I go to court, I resign as a bishop. That year, we raised 15 million in Arambe. Then COVID came the following year when we started. We secured a bank to offset that loan, that the debt of the contractor. Then, during COVID, where movements were stopped and we had planned for Arambe, we went ahead with Arambe. And we raised 24 million following. Our own Christians, are you seeing what I'm saying? You are going to give us this. Please don't give us something less than this. And because I know what you are capable of. Sometimes you have to confront these people with facts. That's why I'm saying you don't believe in these small things like kidogo tutafika tu. When will you ever age? Because what I believe is, if I can put up my own house at a cost of 5 million without disturbing people, how about the work of God? How comes that when it comes to the work of God, now money is limited for me? But when it comes to my own project, it is available. Hii mambo ya uchoyo lazima ikome kwa Wakristo. We must come up. Because whatever we have is not ours. So far that our building through interactions, and then after that we also managed to get some friends from outside also to support us a little. It has been a long process of mobilization. Now the level where we have reached, we are only working on doors to the main entrance. And we are installing the lifts. In fact, it is almost 95% complete installation of lifts. I have 2 lifts there. Everything is ready. So by March or February, we will be opening that building. By that time, it shall have cost more than 200 million Kenya shilling. Through network, using the resources I've taken, network of friends, persuasion, and where persuasion fails, intimidate. And don't regret. Don't apologize for doing that. Because by the end of the day, this is the God's business. It's not our business. So what I can assure you is that you have what it takes. The best thing you have is that you have the spirit of doing it. Hold on that spirit. Find, soul search, and say, what am I worth before God? What is it that if I give, even myself, I know that this is what I'm capable of giving to the Lord. Encourage Christians to appreciate giving as a way of worship. Encourage them to appreciate giving as a way of worship. If anything happens to you, give God thanks. Give God thanks. Last, I've come with a small car. Some may think that one of people like small things. No, we like big things. Except that my vehicle had an accident. I had my daughters and with the driver. But we said, because we almost died, we set aside a Sunday where we call the Diocese to give thanks. And I had to release my 1 month's salary as a way of giving thanks to God. Not you receiving. I want us to learn, even my fellow clergy. Let us not see thanksgiving as a way of we receiving. If something happens to you, don't receive, give. And you will be more blessed. In most cases, we only pray. Even if you fall sick, you want people who can give you money. Give you money for what? And God has said. You are the one to give as a way of thanking God for saving. We are losing blessings when we so much think of receiving. We can decide even to pledge. Even us, clergy, we can pledge, we can say, Bishop, with this project, this phase, 1 month of my year's salary I'm pledging, and this is how it's supposed to be deducted. You shall have done. Don't do it in order to expect that you are going to benefit. Like what I'm doing for this, our plaza. In fact, I'll invite you to come during the official opening. Still, I don't know who is going to open it, but what I know is going to be opened. It's not, I'm not going to benefit, I as Kodia, I'm not going to benefit from it even a single cent. It is for the church. So church can have a regular source of income. You look at Mount Kenya. We were talking about Mount Kenya region, how they are endowed, what they are doing, marvelous. It is not that Kikuyus have a lot of money. It's because they have discovered the secret of giving. I want to tell you this thing for free, my brethren. We, Luos and lawyers, we have not discovered that secret. Kikuyus have discovered the secret. Hata kama wanaiba kama kitu, I don't know. But when it comes to giving to the church, that part is never compromised. Bwana asifiwe. And you see them thriving. You see them thriving. You see them do great things. But as for us, kidogo. The retired bishop of Mount Kenya South, Timothy, he wanted to put up a college. And he identified top people from his diocese. And he said each and every person must contribute minimum of 500,000. He invited all, because he knew them. Know your congregation. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Know them. Know them. Don't interact with them only when they have tragedy of death. It's when you are called, oh, this one is too senior, it's only the bishop who can bury this person. Oh. I'm telling you, pray so that you are not buried by a bishop. Because if they bury you, you will go forever. Giving. That is the only bit we have not learned. They are doing great things in Mount Kenya South. They are doing great things in, you may say that is because they are closer to Nairobi, but the thing is, our sons, are they not in Nairobi? In fact, who are the majority of Nairobians? It is Luos and lawyers. Is it not true? Which means they are the ones having more money then. What's wrong? How comes that they cannot come and beg us here? You go to those big churches, you go to St. Stephen's Jogo Road, you will find only lawyers and Luos there. What's happening? Why can't they come here? That's where I'm saying, use sweet words to bring them. But where sweet words fail, intimidate them. Because God's work must continue. May God bless you so much. May God bless you so much.